We are here at the semifinals of the Copa Virginia Cash Prize Absolute Division. We have Tjamal Robinson here in the black on black, and we have Wellington Miranda in the black on black with the knee brace on.
Lots of hand fighting here. Wellington coming in fast and hard. Robinson taking a little bit more of a slower, steady approach.
Yeah, these guys had a match earlier in the day in the gi, so this is a rematch in no gi.
Head-to-head, Wellington leaning forward, backing up to create some space. Wellington is definitely pushing forward the most, but he's backing up to give himself a little bit of space on the mats. It's really smart mat play from him.
Yeah.
If you're pushing forward too much, sometimes you can create situations where you can't actually do anything offensively because you don't have enough mat space left. So those backups are actually pretty intelligent.
Referee Cam is going to restart the match in the center here.
Mercy grips on and off with these two.
Yeah. Probing shot here from Robinson.
These little leg grabs can be nice to help set other things up. They might not always be the most effective things for generating a takedown, but they're an important part of the game that we're playing here a lot of times.
Yeah. And a lot of times also it can fatigue a guy, or it can get you used to his timing or his reactions to set up things later. Robinson looks like he got his hand caught there and kind of grimaced, and then Wellington kind of went, my bad. Gave him the thumbs up again. I'd like to see, even in these intense matches, the sportsmanship on display here.
Love it. Little inside foot trip from Wellington.
Double collar ties here. Most likely, it seems like both guys aren't going to be able to snap down here. We're going to get a mirrored penalty for inactivity. Rough Cam, I think they're reasonable at this point. We're 5 minutes in the match, haven't gotten it to the ground at this point.
Yeah, that's something nice to push the action a little bit here.
Yeah.
There's cash on the line, so a lot of incentive to make things happen.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hand grips here. That's a little bit more on the fingers than maybe I'd prefer here. It does limit a lot of the shots here if you play the Mercer grip or play the inside hand tie grips, which is why, again, that grip isn't really as allowed in wrestling. But if you're trying to probe and you're trying to kind of figure out exactly what your athlete's going to do or your opponent's going to do, there's a lot of tactics to it. And into the judges, into their commentary table, and into my legs.
We'll see how the referee sets him here.
I'm going to ask, make sure he didn't hit his head. A little bit of dialogue here. Both athletes are good to go, and we are going to restart. Wellington needs to have one advantage at this point with just over 4 minutes left to work in this match.
It was a nice takedown attempt from Wellington. Unfortunate that they ran out of real estate on the mats here, but that's part of the game, is making sure that you're playing within the bounds of the match.
Yeah, you got to work within the constraints of the rules.
Double the tie grip from Wellington he's been looking at. Arm drag attempt.
Yeah, I thought we were going to deal with a spin grip. Looks like a little bit of impact to one of the girlfriends and wives on the sidelines. You got to be aware at all times on the edge of mats here in combat sports.
At risk on the side of the mats. Inside foot trip attempt again there from Wellington.
It seems like Wellington really wants to lean into the judo there. It seems like he will, go lower body on the wrestling, but a lot of his game, again, we saw him in the gi earlier, seems to be very comfortable with the foot sweeps and the throws and the more traditional judo work. Going to move another match out of our space into this match. Referee Cam is going to pause the action here and resetting again, restarting our match.
Both athletes really, really leaning heavy forward here, which can make some of the wrestling a little bit tougher.
Yeah, it's just so hard to take a shot when someone's leaned over. Your snaps become available, but a lot of times these guys are both experienced black belts. You're leaning over, you're ready for the snap, and you're really ready to counter snap a lot of the time. And again, exactly like you were saying, Zach, those shots, the legs are so far away. The sprawl is ready. It makes it so difficult to get in on the legs when you have that leaning outside stance.
So a lot of times what we're looking for here is some arm drags and snap downs, like you mentioned. These guys, big strong backs, those snap downs get more and more difficult as guys get stronger in these positions and these weights. But those arm drags are usually an option. We've seen Wellington try for one or two here and there.
Robson really picking up the pace here later into the match. Just seemed to turn on the gas there. We're seeing a higher pace in that hand fight and that push around here. We're going to reset back into the center. Boom, drives over and into the barriers a little bit here.
And that makes sense to pick up the pace,
yeah, absolutely, late in the match.
Robson is down one advantage. We are tied on 1-to-1 penalty. No points on the board. So with just over 2 minutes left on the clock, if nothing changes, Wellington is going to take this match on that one advantage. Wellington with a nice underhook into the suplex.
Big drop down into the suplex. Going to immediately get into the back, get into the 4-point mount position. Going to thread for the choke here. Lifting up heavy on the nose and on the face. And gets the tap. I think potentially gets a wrist lock there. Late.
Beautiful work.
Very, very quick. 10-0 match there. And Wellington Miranda takes that and moves on to the finals here at Copa, Virginia in the absolute cash prize division.
That girlfriend's going to hit a goal.